In this episode, we learn how to make mole from scratch, get a taste of Oaxacan chocolate, and eat some crickets. My wife and I are on a motorcycle trip through Mexico, Central, and South America, exploring culture and food. So bring an appetite for adventure because we're hungry riders.
So we left Guanajuato and headed out towards Puebla, which is near Mexico City, but we wanted to avoid Mexico City because it's not really bike friendly, and we can do that anytime. Just fly over there later, a couple years from now.
Yep, save that for another day.
Yeah.
Which means we need to skirt by Mexico City, headed to Puebla, and because of that, there's a ton of toll roads there.
It's not just that they're toll roads, it's that they're more expensive than anything else we've seen in Mexico.
Unavoidable toll roads too, at least from what we could tell.
Right. They technically have Libre roads, which don't cost anything, but we couldn't find any of them.
And so we ended up spending like 700 pesos, like $50 just on tolls for that one single day.
Yeah, that was a
which
bit much.
is high no matter what country you're in.
So then we got into Puebla and we're doing some couch surfing, and our host family took us out on the town, downtown, on Saturday night.
And they introduced us to chilies and nogada.
It's a very Puebla dish, only available in the summer, so it's perfect for us.
It's basically a chili. It's stuffed with meat and seasonal fruit like peaches and a few other things. It's covered in a white cream and walnut sauce and sprinkled with pomegranate seeds.
Which makes it probably the most beautiful dish we've seen so far.
Yeah, it's super interesting and awesome taste, really complex. I really enjoyed that type of thing. That's exactly what we're trying to find.
Yeah. And then we went over to the municipal building, which is just down the road, and we took a tour.
And it's this crazy room that's like basically super high-end kind of like French architecture with like frescoes on the ceiling and that kind of stuff. But when we went in, we were basically joining the tail end of another tour group, and everyone was sat down like where the audience would normally sit, and then they pointed for us to sit
at the head of the room.
Yeah.
Those were the only seats left, and they said, "Yeah, just sit at the front."
I felt like it was on a Comic-Con convention panel.
I was worried they were going to make us give a speech or something, but
yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
So while we were in Puebla, we went by the flower market. And Puebla is really known for its flowers. There's a lot of people buy them there every single day.
Yeah, it's basically like a farmer's market, but for flowers. You know, the florists who grow the flowers bring them up and sell them for super cheap prices compared to what we're used to.
It's like 25 pesos, which is about $2 for a dozen roses there.
Yeah.
And then all kinds of other crazy flowers as well.
Yeah.
I would definitely buy you more flowers if they were that cheap.
Yeah, I'm sure. So then after the flower market, we went by the convent where mole was invented.
By nuns.
It was hence the convent. The convent obviously is not open to the public, but we visited the church that was right next to it. And there was also a museum, but it was closed at the time. It was closed the whole time we were there, so unfortunately we didn't get to see that. But it did put us in the mole mood.
So we're here in Puebla, Mexico, which is the birthplace of mole, and it's continued to be very popular. And the couchsurfing family that we're staying with actually has offered to show us how to make it from scratch. So right now we're here at the largest mercado in Latin America apparently to pick up some of the ingredients for mole.
Este se llama chile de árbol.
Arbola.
Árbol.
Árbol.
Árbol como tree. Árbol.
Sí. No. Oh wait, now it's hot. This is probably, from what we've seen, maybe a tenth of it. Just this one giant, massive building, which is the size of a Costco, and so imagine that by at least times 10. So this is one of the ingredients for mole, and it's basically 1 kilo of the macho plátanos, or the man's banana. These fruits in season here are the reason you can have the chilies in nogada now. Apparently. So this is basically a lot of the fruits that we had in the chili last night. So what I really learned about mole is that it's all about the oil. You're mixing the different types of oil that are involved with this Puebla specific type of basically black mole. And a lot of people think that it's black because of the chocolate that's in it, but that's really just one of the oils. The black color actually comes from the chilies specifically, but it's basically the secret to the Puebla mole is everything is fried. It has plantains, different types of bread,
cinnamon,
chilies,
cloves, raisins, bread.
And of course the chocolate. And with that you get this deep, rich, complex flavor, which is very specific for that kind of region.
And if you want to see more information on exactly how to make that mole, you can check that out on our Motobite.
And the recipe is also going to be online at hungryriders.com. And this is the actual recipe from that specific family that we stayed with, so super authentic.
Yeah. And so then from Puebla we headed over to Veracruz, which was very hot. I think it was the hottest and most humid place we've been so far.
We had caught up on our seafood there, basically, because we hadn't had that for a while.
Seafood cocktails.
Mainly seafood cocktails. I had an octopus in a Veracruz sauce, which Veracruz is pretty famous for. It's basically kind of a tomato sauce.
And then from Veracruz we headed over towards Oaxaca on, what was the name of the road again?
175.
Apparently that is supposed to be one of the best motorcycle roads
ever
in all of Mexico. So we had to check it out, of course. Through mountains, jungle, forest.
Yes, it starts out, you're in the super hot Veracruz jungle, going through like sugarcane fields. Then it gets even more jungly, like rainforesty. And then you crest over the top of the summit of the mountain and it turns into like temperate forest, like the pines. And it was a really high elevation changing day.
Yeah.
And
it was a lot of fun.
And one of those things too that specific road, it was super awesome. There was great views that we could see around there, but only tiny glimpses through like the super thick jungle.
Yeah, that's one thing that I really have taken for granted, and I never will again, in the United States, are scenic pullouts, vista stops.
Or pullouts in general.
Pullouts in general.
So yeah,
there's nowhere to pull off, to take a picture, to pee, to anything. So you're just going through, the roads are narrow, there's literally no shoulder, so there's not even, you have to stop in the middle of the road if you want to stop. So we didn't get a lot of stuff.
There were some super cool vistas that we could briefly see for like a couple seconds at a time.
Right. So from there, we made it into Oaxaca, and one of the reasons we wanted to check out Oaxaca, being a food show, you wanted to try the chipulines.
Crickets.
Crickets, fried crickets, yum.
They're tasty. They're basically a cricket that's fried, and it's got chili, lime, and salt.
So we wanted to try some, but as we were walking downtown, people were selling them on the roadside, just
big mounds
bag.
of them. Yeah.
You would just buy bags.
Would you like to buy 10 pounds of crickets? No thanks.
Not that many, but that's how they sell them. Just a bag. We kind of wanted to try something more with other stuff in it, like a taco, where you can smother it in sauce.
No.
Kind of hide the taste.
No, the taste is excellent. You don't want to hide that taste. You want to taste it as much as you can.
So we took a sample from one of the ladies selling the crickets on the road and got a taste of it that way, but then we went out to dinner and they had it on the menu. So we actually had cricket tacos.
So they give you tortillas, guacamole, and a nice big bowl of crickets. And you just sprinkle them in there and they're good. I really liked it. Very flavorful.
I didn't care for them so much.
Did you order them again?
No. Those were too spicy.
Order them again.
My problem was they were a little too spicy.
They have like garlic ones, but we didn't try those.
We didn't try those ones. I don't know if it's just a mental thing for me, but it wasn't that appealing.
I would eat them again. And I put some on your leftover food too.
You did, yeah. But then to wash away that taste, we tried some Oaxacan chocolate.
We were having hot chocolate there pretty much every single day.
Everybody sold it.
A few times a day, and it's super awesome. Basically, it's actual, real,
It's like
nice,
a bar of chocolate melted into a glass of milk, like it should be.
Yeah, you can't get any better than that.
Yeah, and we stopped by this one store, this chocolate store, that had the actual 2 giant grinder machines. And then they had the ingredients to make the chocolate, the cocoa beans, the sugar.
You can have just whole beans, or you can have the beans, still the shell on it.
Right.
And apparently that makes it an extra creamy kind of flavor.
Yeah.
You can eat the shell once it's all ground up.
And they have their standard recipe written on the wall so you can see measurements and all that. But if you want, less sugar, if you want to add cinnamon or almonds or both or whatever, however you want to change the recipe, it's up to you to do that. And then once you...
And we could taste it through each stage of the grinding. So like when it first comes out,
yeah,
it's kind of like a super dark, peanut butter.
It's like a paste. It has the same texture.
No sugar in it all, but yeah,
right.
It tastes super good.
Yeah, they put it through the grinder once, and then it has that peanut buttery texture, and then they put it through the grinder again with the sugar, and then it comes out as what you would expect chocolate to be. And it was very good.
We brought some home and shipped some home.
We did.
And drank some for the next week.
So while we were in Oaxaca, we also did some more volunteer work with some kids over there. And one of the really successful programs that they've been working on is their photography workshop. The kids have did an exhibition recently.
And this is something that they want to replicate, the Muskoka Foundation, and other places around the world. And one of those is in Colombia, which is where we're headed. And we still need some cameras.
Yeah, you might have seen our other video asking for if you have extra cameras that are sitting in a drawer that are perfectly useful, but you're just not using anymore because maybe you have a newer one. These kids can use your cameras, so check out hungryriders.com/camera drive and find out how you can donate your camera to a good cause.
And we've already received some cameras and some really awesome ones. Thank you so much to the people that have already donated.
It's been a huge help.
And we will really appreciate it, and we can't wait to see those in Colombia.
Yeah, we'll be sure and give you an update once we get down there. That's it for this episode. On the next episode, I learn how to scuba dive.
What do I do?
You check out some Mayan ruins.
Oh, we check out some Mayan ruins.
We do. Both of us do that. But until then, you can email us at feedback@hungryriders.com or Twitter at twitter.com/hungryriders.
And please like us on Facebook at facebook.com/hungryriders and subscribe to us on YouTube if you haven't already at youtube.com/hungryriders.
And of course, our website is hungryriders.com. See you next time.